The topic of this video is slope modeling with graphs. Before I introduce you with the term slope, I will be talking about two definitions. The first one is the direct variation and the second one is the partial variation. So the direct variation is a relationship between two variables in which one variable is a constant multiple of the other variable. It can be defined algebraically as y equals to mx, where m is the constant of variation or slope. The graph of a direct variation is a straight line that passes through the origin, which is 0, 0. So if we're going to graph, let's say we have a graph, x-axis, which is the horizontal one, it's called independent variable. Y-axis, which is the vertical one, is called dependent variable. And the graph of the direct variation goes from 0, 0, and then it will be a straight line from here. The second definition is the partial variation is a relationship between two variables in which the dependent variable y is the sum of a constant number and a constant multiple of the independent variable x. It can be defined as y equals to mx plus b, where m is the constant of variation or slope and b is the y-intercept or initial value. I can show you the graph of partial variation. So we have x-axis, horizontal, y-axis, which is the vertical one, and the graph of the partial variation, it always goes from any value of y. So this is the initial value. So let's see this one. Therefore, I can just say here 0 and b. So it can be any value, which is in the vertical one. Now I'm going to be showing you the formula of a slope, and then we're going to be working on some questions from MPT test. So let's just talk about the slope. We have a line segment. That means it has two endpoints. I can label it as A, the other one as B, and I can say the first point is x1, y1, the second point is x2 and y2. If you can't remember if x goes first or y goes first, think about alphabetical letters. X comes first, therefore we write x first. Y goes after, therefore we write y after. And I wrote 1 in the subscript because this is the first point. I wrote 2nd in the subscript because this is the second point. So we have a line segment, that means two endpoints. We're going to find the slope of this line segment. So slope is lowercase m equals to delta y, difference in the values of y, over delta x, difference in the values of x, or rise over run, and when 2 points are given, then I can write y2 minus y1. As I just said, difference means we are subtracting the y values. Now we are subtracting the x values, x2 minus x1. Therefore, this is the formula of a slope. Let's just look at one example. So let's see, I have the first point as 1 and 2, and the second one as 7 and 10. We're going to find the slope, which is lowercase m. The formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I would suggest you to label the points. So this is x1, y1, this is x2 and y2. So I will substitute, instead of y2, I will substitute 10. Instead of y1, I will substitute 2. Instead of x2, I will substitute 7. Instead of x1, I will substitute 1. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 1 is 6. We have a slope, but again, we're going to reduce the fractions. So over here, I have 8 over 6. I will divide this by 2, divide this by 2. Therefore, the final answer for the slope is 4 over 3. So that's how we find the slope. Now I will be showing you some MPT sample questions. So the question is, 4 stores hire people to deliver flyers. Each store pays a different amount per flyer delivered. The points on the graph below show the total pay for a certain number of flyers delivered for each of the stores. Which store will pay $45 for 450 flyers delivered? So first, I'm going to take this statement here and I will find out the amount. So what I will do is I will write $45 and divide by 450, and when I do that, 45 divided by 450, I get 10 cents per flyer. Now I will find out for store W. So store W, if we look here, it's the middle point, which is 150, and this one is 15. So this point is given as 150 and 15. And for store X is given as 250 and this one is 45. So for 250 flyers, it's $45. And for store Y is 450 flyers for $30. And for store Z, we have 600 flyers for $65, which is here. So what I will do is I have the value of X and Y. I will find out from here. We know that the slope has rise over run. So rise was the delta Y, which is the vertical axis. In this case, it's the total pay. So I'm going to do the same thing. I will do $15 or $15 over 150 flyers. Then I will solve. For store X, $45 over 250. Then I will solve. And over here, $30 over 450. I will solve this. And for the last one, it's $65 over 600, and I will solve this one. So let's see what happens when I divide 15 with 150, which will give me 10 cents per flyer. When I divide 45 with 250, I get 18 cents per flyer. When I divide 30 with 450, I get approximately 7 cents per flyer. When I divide 65 with 600, I will get approximately 11 cents per flyer. So out of store W, store X, Y, and Z, I get 10 cents for store W, which is equal to this one. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. This is another question in sample MPT. The cost of 12 cookies is $7.56. Each cookie costs the same amount. What is the cost of 14 of these cookies? So first I will find out how much is one cookie. In order to do that, I will take the money, which is $7.56, and divide by 12, because that's the cost of 12 cookies. So 7.56 divided by 12 will give me $0.63, which means 63 cents per cookie. In order to find out the cost of 14 cookies, so what I will do is I will just multiply 63 cents with 14. So when I do that, I get $8.82, which is the option C. The third question in the MPT was, a music website charges a registration fee and a cost per song purchased as shown in this table. Each song costs the same amount. So there is a table of values given, number of songs purchased, and total cost. We can label this as X and this as Y. Therefore, this is X1. X2 means the value of X, and this is Y1, the second value of Y, which is Y2. We are finding what is the cost per song. In order to find the cost per song, what we can do is we can use the slope formula, which is lowercase m, Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. I already labeled these ones. So I have Y2, which is 27, Y1 is 15, and X2 is 9, X1 is 3. And I mentioned earlier, the cost is the dependent variable and the number of item is the independent variable. That's why it's X and the cost is Y. When I subtract 27 and 15, I get 12. When I subtract 9 and 3, I get 6. So 12 divided by 6 will give me 2. Since we know that the Y value is the cost in dollars and the values of X are number of songs purchased, so we can just write song. So in order to write, we have the slope, which is equal to 2. Therefore, we can say $2 per song. That's what they're asking here. Therefore, the final answer is the option A. That's how you can find the slope. When the table of values is given, you can label it and then write the formula down, substitute the numbers, solve it, get the final answer for slope. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel.